Oh, what do you want first? Do you want the good news or do you want the bad news? Let me know in the comments whether you want the good news or the bad news first. Well, the bad news is that this dump still has a long way to go. So we're still not at any level where this dump is over. I'm going to show you today where the dump is over. The good news is that in terms of time, the dump may be over pretty soon. So we may have a long way to go on the way down, but it should be over pretty soon. So you do have bad news and you do have good news. Then if you want, I don't know about your Twitter feed, but I can tell you on my Twitter feed this morning, I saw lots and lots and lots of people that made life-changing money because of an IDO called Satoshi VM. People said they made 100x, 200x. Some people made 300x returns. I'm going to teach you today how to play this narrative and how you can make 100, 200, and 300x returns. I know that you're not making 100, 200, and 300x returns. And the reason why you're not making 100, 200, and 300x returns is because you don't know how to play the game. IDOs are a game. And today I'm going to teach you how to play the game. I'm going to teach you how to get into the IDOs. I'm going to teach you how to make 100, 200, 300, 400x's. I'm also going to teach you who you're playing against and when the best time is to get out. Now, I know that when I do this, I'm not going to make any friends in the industry. But for me, it's more about protecting our community first. That's what today is about. I'm going to teach you the IDO game. I'm going to show you what the market is going to do and when we're going to recover. And I'm going to show you why we don't have much more time left in this dip. So if that sounds good to you, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let's start the show. Listen, it's been an amazing weekend. We didn't do any streaming, but the Banter fam actually finally went away. We went away on our strategy session. I don't know if you guys saw this picture. And one thing I can't believe is that the size of this team. And I wrote a tweet this weekend and I said, 3 years ago, Fred and I started Crypto Banter. We were in a coffee shop and we used to literally broadcast from the coffee shop. And I remember we had zero idea about where this was going to go or how we were going to make money. And here we are 3 years later. There's 65 of us full-time legends at Banter. We went away on a weekend away. We had our strategy session. We had, what else did we do on the weekend? I mean, one of the designers actually, he cut me a little video of all the activities, every single one of the activities that went down on the weekend. Let me just see if I can get it for you. Oh, come on, man. So let me actually show you this. This is the activities. Whoa, he said he's giving me footage of the conference. What is this? What is it?
I need another one.
I've got as many as you want. Don't worry, there's none left on the store. Alistair, don't worry. There we go. Is this a video of me handing out the guns? Newbies, eh? He said he made me a summary of all the videos.
There you go.
Shit.
1 hour later.
Ran with horse.
I mean, we're on a beautiful farm with horse. Obviously, the mood was good. The mood was amazing. We were talking to animals.
What the fuck? I'm gonna get this one, I'm telling you.
He came to South Africa. He smoked cannabis. He ate cows. And he's eating gummies. This is a true story. So this is one of our researchers. He comes from India. Now he comes from a very conservative family in India where they want to do like arranged marriages and shit. And he's never eaten beef before we bring him to South Africa. The poor guy lands up eating Wagyu beef, Argentinian Wagyu, American Wagyu, lands up eating gummies, what else was he doing this weekend? He was doing crazy shit this weekend. Anyway, that's it. So look, we're back. We are all revitalized. Well, some of us are revitalized. Some of us are not as revitalized. It was an amazing weekend. I'm ready to bring you crypto love and crypto wisdom. We do have a massive show today. Just before that, I do want to thank everyone that's been part of our journey for the last 3 years. It's been an amazing journey. We've built like one of the best communities in the world. If you want to be part of that community, just subscribe to the channel. Then you are automatically part of our community. And I think I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Today we had the first discussion around BanterCon, which is the Banter conference, which is going to be, I think, one of the biggest crypto conferences around the world. And our subscribers are going to get VIP experiences, VIP tickets, etc. And everybody else is going to end up paying full price. So subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Smash the like button, obliterate it. The amount of alpha that I'm going to give you today is going to blow your minds. It's also not going to make me any friends. So I'm going to show you who you're playing against and how to make money in the IDOs, how to make 100x's and 200x's. But I know you're not making 100x's and 200x's. And I know why, because you don't know how to play the game. And today I'm going to teach you exactly how to play the game. So massive, massive, massive show. But if you want that kind of thing, like, go. I want the numbers up. I want the energy up. I want the alpha up. I'm not excited. Why did you push the Doge price in the corner there? Is this because of the Elon Musk, the Twitter starting an X account? Is that what you guys did here? So you think because Twitter started a payments account that the price of Doge went up? Doge is down, but it was up yesterday. You know what I did yesterday when I saw that? When the pump, because of the Twitter account. I sold my Doge. Took the profits, said thank you for playing the game, and I actually exited until further notice. I will get in again because I do think that you need to have some Doge in your portfolio. But for me, those spikes on the weekend on bullshit news, that's the spikes that you want to sell out to. And that's exactly what I did yesterday. All right, let's get into the potatoes of the show, the potatoes and beef of the show, Reality is, wait, there's something amazing that Josh hasn't told me about. Josh, did you launch your new buttons on Bubbles? Okay, get this, legends, get this. Now, from now on, you can wake up in the morning. You can go to Banter Bubbles, and instead of just looking at your normal daily or weekly, hourly bubbles, what you can do is you can wake up in the morning and you can say, I want to know what are the narratives that are performing today. Click that button over there, and then you can see today nothing's performing, as you can see, because it's just a bad day on the market. Or if you want to know what the top ecosystems are, today the Ethereum ecosystem is moving up. But these are moving down, you see, so these are all moving down. So we've added 2 new buttons for you on Banter Bubble. So you can wake up in the morning, immediately on one touch, you can see the hottest narratives and the hottest ecosystems for that day. And using the filters, you can actually see it for the month, for the week, for the year. So you can do that. If I want to do that, I'll just go to filter and I'll go to monthly and I'll go to categories, view all. You see this button here that says view all, bang, and it's showing me on the monthly what are the narratives that are performing. You can see layer 2s are performing, meme coins are performing, storage is performing. So we've added that feature for you legends to help you make amazing decisions. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of our new feature. In the meantime, let's quickly go and check what's happening on the bubbles. So today, let's look at today, the month, the week, the day. So the day is red. The day continues to be red. You can see that because Bitcoin is now down. It's broken below this trend line over here, and it's starting to hit some really key levels here. So what happens next is the following. At about this level over here, we have a support level. That's the 40,000 level is a support level. Then we go to this level over here, which is 37,600. So these are like the levels. So you've got, remember these levels. You got the 40,000 level, you got the 39,500 level, and then we start going down to the 37,000. And so now what we've had with the break of this trend line is we've had Bitcoin actually giving us an indication that it's starting to go down. And it's starting to go down below these critical levels. I've said for a long time, and I maintain my conviction, there ain't no way that we are recovering until and unless we hit 39,600. I've been saying it for a long time. I said on the 18th of January. I said on the 12th of January. I said it a long time ago where I said, look, every single CME gap eventually gets filled. This CME gap is going to eventually be filled. Now the question is the CME gap enough of a resistance or enough of a support to stop Bitcoin from falling even further? That's the question. I don't think so. I think that the next levels are the 37,500 levels, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get there. But for now, what I'm hoping is that we get to 39.6 and that we hold this 39.6 level that I have been talking about for a long time. And the reason why this is happening, as you know, is because of the Grayscale GBTC overhang, the 620 or 630,000 coins that were on the market, that were locked up and are now unlocked. And every morning when we wake up, we see these messages of Grayscale actually moving money to Coinbase. It's happening again. Well, don't send it a link. Put it in the newsroom. Okay, so you can see if you go to the newsroom, over here, click on Banter Newsroom, and we can see that, here we go. You see the Irishman has put it here again for us. Let me just give you guys a big screen. The Irishman has put it in here for us again. By the way, the newsroom is where I get all my news from. So you can see that he's put on the Grayscale like clockwork. Grayscale is continuing to send Bitcoin to Coinbase. So you see they're sending from Bitcoin to Coinbase. Don't worry about this because this is the clearance for the Bitcoin that were actually redeemed last week and the week before, on Friday and the day before, because the ETFs settle on T+2, which means that whatever was sold on Thursday and Friday is actually being cleared out today on the markets. But for as long as we keep getting the Grayscale sales, we can continue to expect this market to go down. You can watch it on Arcam Intel. So Arcam's got a very cool dashboard, and you can see exactly how much they're selling. They seem to be selling like small amounts. Look at this, like 0.01, 0.01. They seem to be selling smaller amounts now. Anyway, let's carry on. So you can see that's happening. Let's quickly take a look at where we are. So where are we in this ETF race? Well, you can see that Grayscale has gone down from 620,000 coins, which they were on before this whole ETF race started. So you can see that's over here. That's 619,700 coins. Now, what do they have? They have got 566,000 coins left. Number 2 in the race is BlackRock, $1.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Can we just quickly, just for 1 second, just settle something? I see a lot of people on Twitter try to hype up the narrative and say, BlackRock own $1.3 billion worth of crypto. No. BlackRock owns 0 crypto. They are merely custodians and buyers of crypto for people, for their client base that wants to buy. So please don't fall into that hot air bullshit narrative garbage. BlackRock own no Bitcoin yet. There's nothing. They don't have any Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They're only buying Bitcoin for some of their clients who want to have Bitcoin exposure. Right now, they have $1.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Grayscale has sold 60,000 Bitcoin or 54,000 Bitcoin. Those are now gone. And we're waiting to see what happens next. Net, what you need to see here is that currently in ETFs, we've got 647,000 Bitcoin. You see that? So net, we've actually increased the number of Bitcoin in ETFs from the day before the ETF, where there were 620,000 over here. There were 620,000. We've now increased that to 647,000. So far, net in the ETF race, we are getting more than we are losing. We got to keep a tally on the number of Bitcoin in ETFs. And when the number of Bitcoin on ETFs drops below 620,000, then we know there's a net outflow. But so far, we've got a net inflow. So far, so good. So far, so good. We need to keep watching that. But it looks like a lot of people are coming around to my thesis, which I told you. I said there's just no way that the market can continue to absorb this BTC selling. There's no way this GBTC selling. I don't know where that tweet. Here we go. I said the GBTC overhang will be around for a while. I don't see any way that the other ETFs absorb it. If BlackRock had huge and immediate buyers, they would be in already. I suspect and have been warning that we are due for correction and that we may be midway through it. The first leg down goes to 39,600. Hopefully it ends at 39,600. Look, the reality is that these dips are very, very, very healthy dips. We need a dip. We didn't have a dip for a long time. We were in a market that was so frothy that the only way for this market was up. I don't know if you remember last year, we kept saying there's going to be a dip, there's going to be a dip, there's going to be a dip. And there was never a dip because it was always this ETF is coming, this ETF is coming, this ETF is coming, and we wouldn't let the market dip. Now though, what we're starting to see is the market cool off. So now the fear and greed is at 55. That's not a level where you start buying, but you do want it cooling off. Last month, as you can see, it was 70. Let me just show you this chart over here. And I click on maximum just to show you where we're at and how these cycles usually play out. So generally a cycle will play out like this. You start going up, you start correcting, you start going up, you start correcting, you get to max FOMO over here, and then you start coming down. So we're probably 2 to 3 legs up in this. And the next move, chances are we'll have one more leg down, and then we're going to start moving up again so that we can get to real euphoria in the market. We haven't had a euphoric session in the market yet, right? We haven't been there yet. So what am I expecting? I'm expecting a little bit of a leg down here. Probably let's say we get down to the 40s through some kind of shakeout, and then we start making our way up to this level over here. When we get to the 40s, it's going to feel quite scary. It's going to feel quite scary. It's going to feel like it's the end of crypto. It's going to feel like something big's happened. It's the flush out. That's where it is. And you can see I'm not the only one who's been saying this. You got 𝗕𝗏𝗕𝗏𝗕𝗏. Finally, he's come around. He's saying, look, BTC looks mad heavy. I think we break 40,000. I went long some 29th March, 35,000 strike puts. I think we dump into the 31 Jan US Treasury quarterly, etc. So what you can see is that he's hedging himself. He's hedging himself using derivatives, options specifically. If you want to do the same, you need to get an account on 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗕𝗕. So 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗕𝗕 are one of our sponsors. There is a link below. But I really think it's high time that you guys learn how to use options. So you can go to options. He said that he's gone, which options did he go? 29th March, 35,000 strike. So let's quickly just go here. Options, 29th March. Here we go. And 35 strike. So what he's paying $971 per Bitcoin to hedge himself, which means that if Bitcoin does go below 35,000, he gets all the upside of the market going down, and he's completely hedging his portfolio. Now, you need to learn how to use these options. We're going to keep teaching you how to use options. But in the meantime, get an account at 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗕𝗕. Just go and open an account. Even if you don't use it, just sign up so that you've got it, so that when we do actually start hedging our portfolios and stuff like that, you know exactly what's happening and that you are actually ready. So as I said, this dip is good. We want this dip to continue to go down. We want the flush out. We want the leverage to go out of the market. That's a very, very, very healthy sign for the market. I like this tweet from Crypto Banter. He says, slowly but surely, the barking fades as the blind confidence wanes with the slipping market. And that's where we were. We were in this blind confidence. Now the blind confidence is fading. We're slipping. And he says, and endless bull posting after parabolic moves is brainless. And he shows these charts. He says, looks parabolic to me. A cycle is comprised of many parabolas that break and consolidate. So all the way up, consolidate, all the way up, consolidate. But net, what you can see is that the pattern is very, very, very much a parabolic pattern, as you can see. So it's very, very much a parabolic pattern, and we'll go up and we'll come down. And same with all the other charts. Bonk, you'll go up, parabolic, come down, consolidate. But net, the pattern that we're forming is very, very, very much this parabola. As I said, we want to flush out the leverage. I don't see the leverage completely flushed out. It's back at 9.5. I want it at about 7 before I'm convinced that the dump is completely over. So we carry on waiting. We carry on waiting for the one candle that's going to bring us down to under 39,600. And I think that candle's coming pretty soon. Though what we might get is we might actually get a short squeeze before that. So we may get a situation where there's a lot of shorts that are actually building up now, right? Let me see if I've got some of that here. So I don't have a chart here, but there's a lot of shorts that are actually building up in the open interest chart. And at some point, those shorts might get squeezed out. So you may get a little pump up to, like, say, 43,000. And the shorts just get liquidated, and then we continue with the dump. You keep looking for that. You keep looking for that. Someone says good alpha. You ain't heard the alpha yet. The next part of the show, when I actually show you the alpha, you're going to love me. A lot of people are going to hate me. But those are the people who have been stealing money from you. They've literally been putting their hands in your pocket, stealing money from you. And today we're going to expose them. We're going to expose those people. We're going to show how you can play the game to make 100x's, 200x's, 300x's, and whatever else. But anyway, in the interim, as I said to you, we are in bull market territory. You may recall that a while back we looked at the RSIs and we said that when the RSIs go above 70, usually the RSIs will pull back and the market will pull back slightly. And we broke the 70 level. You may recall we broke that 70 level a while back. And I said to you, look, there's two options here. Either we're going to have a blow off top, which I said was too soon in the bull market, or we're going to start seeing a pullback. And if you look at where we are now with the RSIs, we had the weekly. You had the little spike above 70. We're now back in the 60s. And question is, are we going to quickly come back for that second bounce, like this one over here, or this one over here, or let's see if we get the second bounce. I think we actually might get that second bounce in the RSIs. This guy says every time we reach the overbought level on RSIs, we never just have one leg up. There's always a second one. Cannot predict how many, but another leg up can send Bitcoin plus 50 to plus 70% higher from the last top. Problem comes later when the RSI can't breach 70. So this is the first time that we actually breaching 70. So all in all, nothing to stress about. We want these corrections. This is a happy, healthy correction. I'm not convinced yet that things are cheap enough to buy. I'm not at the point now where I'm going, okay, I've got to start buying. In fact, as I said, I sold some Doge because it had a fake pump on bullshit news. So I sold it. I will buy it back, but I'm not ready to buy it back just yet. When I do, obviously, I'll let you guys know about it, just like I let you know now that I sold my Doge position. And I would have let you know yesterday The problem is that yesterday the gummies were still very much in control, and it was a little bit tough to focus, to do a stream. Anyway, if you're here for the long term and you're one of us and you really believe that this is one of the last bull markets that there is going to be, and that you've got to make life-changing money in this bull market, then the only way to view these dips is to view these dips like this. It's a gift. This is a gift. There are plenty of tokens that you feel you missed out on, or that you'll get a solid chance for your entries, or you're wishing that you could just get into a couple of weeks ago. You need to have patience and conviction. You got the dip now, and the question is, what are you going to do with this opportunity? Are you going to seize the day? Are you going to use the opportunity to buy all those shiny objects that you wanted to buy but missed, didn't buy enough, etc.? Or are you going to be that person that sits and spectates and says, I'm just waiting for it to go lower, I'm just waiting for it to go lower, I'm just waiting for it to go lower? As I said to you before, I don't think in the beginning of a bull market there's any benefit in waiting for it, in trying to catch bottoms, because you'll be forgiven by the tide. If the market cap of altcoins is going to go up by another 50, 60, 70% in terms of market cap, then whether you buy it here or buy it a little bit lower, it's not going to make the biggest difference in your life. I know for us it's a game. Like, we want to get the bottom. But the reality is, if you buy it slightly off the bottom, then it doesn't really matter. And specifically when Pantera, who are one of the most impressive investors in the space, they wrote their newsletter. And in their newsletter, they're saying, look, we are now going into phase 2 of the bull market. Now, in phase 1 of the bull market, you'll see that Bitcoin outperforms the altcoins. So there's a 3x on Bitcoin, 2x on altcoins. In phase 2 of the bull market, the altcoins actually start to outperform. You see, so here, I mean, just look at these returns. Need I say more about these returns? So now we're going into the parabolic growth stage of altcoins in phase 2 of this market. It's not me saying this. I mean, I've said it, but it's not me saying this. The person or the people that are saying this are Pantera, and they're like one of the smartest investors in crypto. These are them. They are telling you, and they've called the bull market completely right. They are telling you, you're now going into phase 2. Phase 2 means buckle up. It's altcoin fucking season. This is it. Now we're going into the part where altcoins rally 239x. That's the part that we're going into now. So you need to be prepared for this next part. And by now, what I'd imagine is that you've got some kind of watch list for the tokens that you wanted to buy and missed. So if you missed a token and you really, really, really believe that that narrative is a narrative that you want to get into in this bull market, then by now, someone says, when Gummy stream? We should actually do it. I don't mind. I'll do it. I mean, I don't mind taking Gummy and doing a stream. You tell me which day you want a Gummy. Let's do Friday. Let's agree today. Friday, we do a stream. I take a Gummy and we just see where the thing goes. I mean, we don't judge each other on that day. We don't judge each other on the day. We take a Gummy and we see how things flow. Let me know what day you want. I think we should do Friday. Anyway, going back to it, by now, I know you've definitely got a watch list. And if you don't have a watch list, then this is a good time to actually start making a watch list. Now, I make a watch list, and what I do with my watch list is I actually tweet it. And the reason why I tweet my watch lists is because not only do I want to be transparent with you guys, but for me, it's very important that I have some kind of accountability to myself in terms of what I'm buying. Otherwise, what happens is you'll end up buying the newest, shiniest object without any like long-term thought. So this is my previous watch list, which was made on December 28th. When I think about my watch list today, my watch list today is not very different from the watch list that I made in December, right? Which shows that what I'm chasing is I'm not chasing the hottest narrative. I actually really, really, really fundamentally believe that these are the narratives that are going to work in this bull market. So Beam, I'm crazy about the gaming narrative. 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓𝗕𝗏, also good about the narrative. Astroport, I mean, it's probably the number one buy of the bull market. I just can't get another entry. I just don't believe we're going to get an entry here. Stride for me, liquid staking on Cosmos. Cosmos is going to be the biggest ecosystem. Stride, I think, is going to be the biggest player in that ecosystem. Celestia, the whole narrative around Celestia. Rune, I mean, I did buy some more Rune on the weekend. I sold some Doge. I bought Rune. I switched. Then Rollbit, I think the GambleFi narrative eventually will come back. I'm going to start buying it. Solana, Pyth Network, Chainlink, Chainflip, Casper. Say what we'll do is, I think tomorrow or the next day we'll actually do a proper watch list. So you guys have got a watch list. Remember, your watch list is not going to be my watch list. The main thing is that you got to have a watch list. Specifically, if you believe that this is a crazy, the last bull run, don't fuck this one up. You've seen the meme that says, don't fuck this up. You've only got one job to do this whole bull market. And that job is just simply, don't fuck this up. That's it. You do it right, you play it right, you don't mess it up, you've got life-changing money. If you don't do it right, well, then sorry for you. Then, I don't know, you're going to have to work again. After this bull market, you're actually going to have to go back to work. That's basically how it is. Cool. So listen, so if you do believe that this is the bull market, it's time for you to start making 100x's and 200x's and 300x's. A lot of people landed up making those kind of returns. There was a launch this weekend. Very cool piece of technology. Full disclosure, we're investors in this protocol called Satoshi VM. It's a Bitcoin layer 2, decentralized Bitcoin ZK rollup layer 2 that is compatible with EVM systems and uses native Bitcoin as gas. So it's compatible with EVM and it uses Bitcoin as gas. Very cool protocol. We're investors. Full disclosure, we got in pretty early in the game and we're very, very, very bullish about the actual protocol, which I'll talk to you about in a couple of seconds. But the more important thing about this is that a lot of people made a lot of money. And specifically the people that got into the IDO, they made 300x returns. Can you imagine making 300x returns? That means, I'm trying to give you some perspective. Like if you got $100, you got, by the end of this, you got $30,000. If you had $1,000 in the IDO, you've got yourself $300,000. I mean, that's $300,000 is actually life-changing money for a lot of the community, right? Like that's life-changing money for a lot of people. So what I want to do today is I want to show you this game that is being played because I know that, tell me in the chat, how many of you have ever cashed out 300x? Have you ever cashed out a 300x? Just say it louder. You've never cashed out a 300x. You've also never cashed out a 300x. Stavo, have you cashed out a 300x before? No. Scarecrows don't talk. But have you cashed out a 300x? No, you see? So you haven't cashed out a 300x. The reason why you haven't cashed out a 300x, and just put your hand on your heart at home and tell us if you've cashed out a 300x, is because you don't know how to play the game. And it is a game. And in the game, there are winners and losers. And if somebody else is making a 300x, then you're not, then you're the loser and they're the winner. Now, today I'm going to teach you exactly how to be the winner. And if you want to be the winner, it's like every single game in the world where there's a winner and a loser. You need to learn the rules of the game. You need to understand who you're playing against. You need to understand what their weapons are. You need to understand what their tactics are, what their strategy is. When you understand that, then you can make these 300x's. And until then, you will never, ever make these 300x's. So that's what the next part of the show is about. It's how to make 300x's. But before we get there, I just want to remind you of a few things. So one is so remember we spoke about ChainGPT. ChainGPT is it's an AI, crypto AI project, which has a whole lot of elements to it, including the ChainGPT, almost like the ChatGPT, but specifically made for crypto, right? So that's what this ChainGPT is. Now tomorrow, 23rd of Jan? Tomorrow they're launching a new product. It's called GT protocol. And what that does is it actually executes stuff for you. So for example, you can say to it, go and sell my Ethereum, and it'll go and sell your Ethereum. So basically you've got like this crypto execution partner. So go and check it out on their protocol, chaingpt.org. Very, very, very cool project. They also have a token which you can stake, etc. Go and check it out. This is one of our sponsors. You should go and check it out. All right, now that we've paid the bills and we've spoken about our sponsors, which we love. Okay, now let's talk about how to make 100s and 300s and 400x's. Now I'm going to show you how to do it. So I want to show you first what happened this weekend. So this weekend, as I said, we had an amazing launch. This product is called Satoshi VM. Great product. As I said, we are invested. We invested very, very, very early. It launched itself through a launchpad called Ape Terminal. Now, Ape Terminal is a new launchpad. It's some similar people from the guys that were a DAO maker last year or in the last bull run. And now they have this thing called Ape Terminal, which is the new hot and shiny launchpad. And you can see, this is I think this is their first or one of their first, and they got 300x for IDO participants. That is a fucking number, okay? Like that is, you do your first one, Satoshi VM, it's a fucking number. The IDO was at 9 cents, and you can see that the high was $14. So was that the high? Let's quickly go back and just check what was the high for this thing. The IDO was at 5 cents. So if you would have got the IDO and you would have sold here, you would have got yourself 300x. Right now it's trading at 200x. It's trading at $9.28. It's trading at 200x. And you can see that a lot of people made a lot of money here. And a lot of people were talking about it. There's a lot of noise about this. Lady of Crypto was saying the best performing projects always get fighted the hardest. 𝗕𝗑𝗕𝗓 is still 20x up from the launch, 100x up from the launch pads. You see Mac and BTC, he starts talking about 𝗧, and he says, around a year and a half ago, I got offered a seed round in 𝗧. I had my team do a DD. They concluded it was vapor. They later rebranded their tech and relaunched under a new narrative. I passed that round. I did 200x. Now it's listed on Binance and it's called a gem. What have I learned in my 6 years? Everything is a scam until it isn't. 𝗕𝗑𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗓. So he's now pushing 𝗕𝗑𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗓. Crypto Rover also pushing 𝗕𝗑𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗓. Interesting. Martini guy also pushing 𝗕𝗑𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗓. A lot of people pushing Satoshi virtual machine. Post the XBT also pushing. There's a lot of noise. There was a lot of noise this weekend around Satoshi VM, and it was a great, fantastic launch of a fantastic a piece of technology, and a lot of people made a lot of money. Now, did you make money on Satoshi VM? Let me know in the comments, yes or no. Did you land up making money? And if you did you make 300x returns? Yes or no? Just let me know in the chat. And there's no excuses. Just yes or no. Did I get in or didn't I get in? So the reality is that Satoshi VM is probably the most, it's not probably, it is the best launch this year when it comes to IDOs, or this season when it comes to IDOs. Up until now, when we had IDOs, you can see that the IDO returns actually weren't very good. 35, 27, okay, we say not very good. Hold on a second. Let's just get perspective. Relative to what your friends are earning in the stock market, they will never, ever, ever fucking believe that we make 18x's, 19x's, 12x's and stuff like that. But relative to what we used to from the previous bull market in crypto, I mean, unless you're making 100x returns on an IDO, you're not actually making money. Because that is what we're actually used to. And I'll actually show you some. Let's have a look at it. Let's just go to IDOs. Let's go to token end date. Let's put in a start date and end date. Let's go to 20. Let's go to 20. Let's go back. Back. What the hell is this? Hold on a second. Let's go back to the filters. Let's go to token date. Let's see if we can just change that to 2018. So there we go. So if you go back to, let's go as far back as we can and let's just see how they do it. And then I mean, you see, this is the kind of returns that we are used to. 34,000, 6,500, X's. These are X's. This is 37,000 times your money. It's a true story. This is 37. Imagine you put in $10 and you made 37,000 times, 34,000 times your money. Okay. Then here, 6,449 times your money. Axie Infinity, 1,643x. $10 in Axie Infinity would have netted you $163,000. That's why I say to you that up until now, we haven't had those kind of returns on IDOs this season. And I'll show you again. Let's just quickly go here. Let's go to the start date. Let's go to October 2023. Let's go to 23. There we go. And let's go to October. Hold on. Let's go to October over here. June, July, August, September. Okay, let's go from here and let's go until January 24. Let's apply that filter. So you can see that up until this point, we haven't had real amazing returns until enter Satoshi VM. Satoshi VM gives people a 300x and we are so fucking back. It's time. It's the IDO season. We are so fucking back. And the reality is that when we are so fucking back on the IDOs, then they started a new narrative. What is the narrative? The narrative is launchpads, IDOs. Satoshi VX at 180x from IDO price. IDO season is back. If IDO season is back, then what's going to pump? Well, as Alex Becker says, seen a lot of talk about 𝗕𝗑𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗓 and crazy IDO returns. This is literally just the tip. We had IDOs busting 300 million market caps in 2021. Keep your head down. IDO, now there's a narrative that IDOs are starting. And if there's a narrative that IDOs are starting, then it's the time of launchpads. And he talks about CDFI, he talks about bytes, he talks about paid network. 𝗕𝗏𝗃 says the next narrative is IDOs. I don't make the rules, but he does own a launchpad, or he is the founder of a launchpad, which is paid network. CryptoCito says launchpads were a huge narrative in 2020 and 2021. I think they're going to make a huge comeback, and I think the comeback has just started. Why do I think the comeback's just started? Because of one, probably the most successful launch, which is Satoshi VM, 300x on a launchpad. Okay, but now there's two ways to look at this. The narrative is IDOs. The way to get into IDOs is through these things called launchpads. Now there's two ways to look at launchpads. And you got to remember this very, very clearly. And this is where I'm going to start not making friends in the industry and pissing off a lot of people in this industry. But I don't give a fuck, because I'm here to protect you and I'm here to teach you how to play the game. So there are two ways to look at launchpads. Either you can look at launchpads like this, like your best tool to help you make life-changing money, and probably your best chance to make 100x's, 200x's, and 300x's in the bull market. Or you can look at launchpads as a way for the smart scammers to, you can look at launchpads as a place to connect smart scammers with dumb money. So if I want to launch a smart scammy project and I want access to dumb money, the easiest place to go is to go to a launchpad. Launchpads have a lot of dumb money that nibbles on the launchpads. And smart scammers, if you can be a smart scammer and get your product onto a launchpad, then you can land up. Then that can be what launchpads are about. So the question is, how do you decide whether launchpads are going to be the best tool that you've ever had? Going to be a fundraising hub, a community engagement hub, a place that does quality control, a place that gives market exposure and partnerships, token liquidity, governance integration. How do you land up using a launchpad as this kind of tool and not as a place where scammers are going to just connect with dumb money and steal the dumb money? And by the way, this whole analogy of scammers and dumb money, that actually comes from a founder of a launchpad who told me that he was going to quit in the last market. And I said to him, why are you quitting? He said, because I'm actually tired of connecting scammers with dumb money. He literally said that. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he literally said that. And that was a paradigm shift for me. But I also know that if you go to the right launchpad and you use the right launchpad, it can be your best friend. It's the only chance that you've got of making a 300x. Because you're not going to get into early stage private sales. So there is no chance that you're getting a 300x unless you actually get into the launchpad. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to show you what a launchpad is, what you can expect from a launchpad, how to find the best launchpad, how to find the best projects. And then the most important thing that I want to show you today is I want to show you who you're playing against. I want to show you when you get into an IDO, when to sell and when to buy, because I want to show you who you're playing against. And I want to show you the tactics that these people are using to try and take your money. So that is what I want to show you. So the first question is, what is a launchpad? As I said to you, a launchpad is a hub, and it's a hub that connects buyers of tokens to projects. A good launchpad does a lot of due diligence on a project, sifts out the good projects from the bad projects, makes sure that the token has real use cases, creates amazing liquidity and stuff like that. The other good use for launchpads, and this is something that people don't really realize, is that when people buy tokens in private sales, those people are locked up for long periods. So basically, if I buy tokens on a private sale, then the problem is that I've got a lockup. So when I get my tokens, I don't get my tokens for the first 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. When you buy tokens on a launchpad, in most cases, you get your tokens immediately. So you've got a bigger advantage over the people that are buying in the private sales if you get your tokens from a launchpad. Why? Because if I'm buying in a private sale, you're buying off a launchpad, I've got a 12-month lockup, you don't have a 12-month lockup, you can sell when the price pumps, I can't sell. That is, for me, the biggest advantage of getting your tokens off a launchpad versus getting your tokens off a private sale. A lot of people that are in Satoshi VM are watching the price at 200x up, but they can't sell because they're not getting their tokens because there's some kind of lockup. And that is what the advantage that you've got if you use a launchpad. And that's why launchpads are so important. In essence, launchpads are the only places that give you tokens that you can actually sell into the market when these crazy pumps actually occur. So how do you find the launchpads? Well, there's a site called 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗠.io. And this site has a lot of filters that you can use. Like for example, here, what I can say is I want to know all the launchpads. I want to rank the launchpads from, let's just go a couple of years forward. Let's go from April 2020 till January 22nd, 2024. And I want to rank it by current return. And you can see there you've got Bounce and you've got 𝗕𝗥𝗫𝗫, Launchpool, 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃. You'll see our sponsor 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃 always in the top 3. In terms of all-time high returns, you can see GameFi, Selenium, Bullparks. 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃 should be somewhere. Okay, top 10. But you can see that when you take the all-time returns, all-time high returns, you can do that. So this is where I would go. This is where I'd go to get the information to decide whether the launchpad is a really, really good launchpad. Some launchpads. So you've got Ape Terminal. They've just had a fantastic launch. You've got Ignition, which is paid network. Full disclosure, we're investors in paid network. There's CoinList, which is a very similar thing. You've got 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃, which is another one of our sponsors. They have an amazing game launching this week. I think it's called Storm Warfare. Is it this week? It's tomorrow. So tomorrow you've got a launch, which is Storm Warfare. 23rd, it's tomorrow. You're right. So tomorrow we've got Storm Warfare IGO on 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃. This one's going to do fantastic. So you can see there's a whole lot of IDOs that are coming out. Here they are, coming off CryptoRank's website. So ChainGPT, also our sponsor, they have a launchpad. They've got projects coming out now. You've got 𝗕𝗥𝗫𝗃 with 2 projects. You've got 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is why we support 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃. You've got all these amazing launches happening on all these amazing launchpads. I would go and check CryptoRank, make sure that you're dealing with a reputable launchpad, and then I would go buy the tokens, stake the tokens, so that you can actually get a thing. Let's quickly look at the price of 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃 tokens. So 𝗕𝗫𝗵𝗃, we were paying $4 for this not so long ago. Now it's at $2.72. Could be a good time to actually start picking these things up. So that is how you identify the launchpads. That's how you identify the projects. When the project launches, this is what happens. Generally, there is a massive green candle that goes up. Massive green candle. And then the dump starts. So you get this massive green candle. We start finding price. And then people who got into the IDO and people that got into the private sale actually start dumping their tokens because, listen, I don't care who you are. If you've entered into a token and you've got a 300x return, no matter how much you believe in the project, start taking profits. Just a basic rule here. And so what you get is you get the pump, and then what you get is you get the bleed down. Some projects will never ever recover from here because they were just outright scams, and some projects will actually start going up from there once all the early sellers have actually started selling. So that is the thing. Now, you got two choices. You can either be part of the people that sell the top, or people that sell or people that get dumped on. And this is what I wanted to show you because I think that this is a good one. And 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗃 actually tweeted a thread about this. He says, remember, when influencers with a lot of followers start shitting a project at the same time, it's likely because they have an allocation and will dump their cheap tokens on you. And this is a part where you need to understand who you are trading against. And this is the most important part here. So remember, I showed you very early in the show how a lot of people were shilling a project at exactly the same time. No disrespect. As I said, I think Satoshi VM is an amazing project. I think we're invested in the project. We love the project. But I want to show you how what you should have been looking out for this weekend is the frequency of posting and the similarity of the posts by high-profile Twitter accounts that you actually trust. Now, what is that telling you? Do you think that they all just decided to just tweet? No. They all have allocations. And they got their allocations in the private sale. And chances are they only got a certain percentage of their allocation. They didn't get the whole amount of their allocation. And if they want their whole allocation, then they've got to show the project that they're actually shilling. Otherwise, there's a good risk that they're not going to get their allocation. Because what happens with these IDOs is there's usually like a ringleader. And that ringleader brings all the influencers together and he gives them all an allocation. So I'll go there, I'll say, look, I want a $10,000 allocation. He'll say, look, you're only going to get a $2,000 allocation, but you have to promise me that you're going to do shilling and da-da-da-da. And a lot of the influencers will say yes. We don't do that shit at Banter. In fact, when we do invest in a project, we actually give them a letter like this to say, look, Crypto Banter never enters into any investment agreement that requires us to promote, advertise, mention any project on any of our mediums. We just don't play the game. But not all influencers have that. And so a lot of influencers actually get into an agreement where they say, look, we will give you allocation, but you got to promise us you're going to shill the project. And instead of giving them all their tokens up front, the influencers actually get a little bit of their tokens, and they only get the rest of their tokens if they actually execute on the shill. And so what happens is when you see these influencers, and I'm not talking about specifically this project, I'm talking to you about all projects. When you see a lot of people shilling the same project, that does not mean that it's a good project. That means that there are a lot of influencers who are shit scared that they won't get the rest of their allocation if they don't support the project. Be careful, because this is who you're trading against. These are the guys that you're actually trading against. If you go and buy something after the launch of the IDO and you see a lot of influencers shilling the project, you know exactly what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. They are earning their keep. And they're making sure that they don't forfeit the rest of their token thing. And the truth is that we'll keep highlighting this to you guys. We'll keep showing this to you guys. We'll keep showing this to you guys because we believe that this is really, really bad for the industry and we'll never do it. In fact, as I say, we'll never get into any agreement with any project that gives any allocation and then expects anything in return. We don't do shit like that. And I wish that the rest of the influencers would apply the same thing. Because I saw what happened many, many, many times when there were launches. And you think to the untrained eye, what you think is that, shit, this must be a really good project. But when we, the trained eye, look at those posts, we know he got an allocation, and he got an allocation, and he got an allocation, and he's shit scared to lose his allocation. And he's shit scared because he's only got 10% of his tokens. And he's shit scared because he's getting 10% of his tokens. And that, for me, is what you guys have got to look out for. That's who you're playing against. So what I recommend, well, if you see a lot of shilling, even if you like the project, take some profits. Because chances are what's going to happen is the influencers are all going to move to the next project. And when they do, they're going to forget the old project until very close to the next token unlock for them. And then what you'll see is it'll start coming up again. Go and get the influencer token unlock schedules, and you'll see how the shills exactly equal when the token unlocks actually happen. And that's a game that not only won't we play, we won't condone either. We will not condone that kind of behavior. I think it's disgusting. I think that is the kind of behavior that is designed to fleece normal people out of their money. We'll never do it. We'll never, ever, ever invest in any project that has any kinds of terms and conditions in terms of exposure. Of course, we'll talk about the investments that we made because that's what we do. We make investments and then we research the companies, and whatever we learn, we tell you, and we tell you what we paid. In this case, I mean, we got into the early stage rounds of Satoshi VM, and I mean, we're in. In fact, I think we may have even sold some tokens because at 300x, if you're not selling, then, I mean, you must be an idiot. I don't know. Would you sell if you made 300x? As much as I love the project, I think it's a fantastic project. If I make 300x on a project, got to take some profits. So anyway, listen, now you know how to get in. Now you know how to find these things. Now you know who the best launch pads are. And you know exactly who, you know exactly who you're playing against. And you've learned to identify it. And so you're smart. And so you have every single one of the tools that you need to make these 200s, 300s, and 400x's. And I know I didn't make any friends saying this, but I think the most important thing is for you to understand how to make money and for you guys to be safe. So listen, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Stay safe out there. Until then, trade well, my friends.